Hi guys, today we have on board with us Abdul Rafay, a serial entrepreneur, partner at Disrupt, director at Gadit, and co-founder and CFO at Zignaly. Rafay, today we discuss you and your achievements with the hopes that the community learns and hopefully manages to grasp some useful tips and strategies along the way. So let us begin. Abdul Rafay, please enlighten the community about yourself and some insights into your life and your journey into the tech industry.
First of all, thank you very much for having me today. I'll just try to keep it very short and simple. So, I started not as a tech, uh, uh, you can say entrepreneur, but my background is that I graduated from IB in 2010. I was a finance graduate. I associated with the banking industry for 6 years till 2016. After that, I was based out of UAE, and after that, I came back to Pakistan. By that time, my family already, my brothers and cousins, they were involved in the tech business by the name of bootstrapped.com. So I joined them. I was passively involved previously, but then I obviously became active. I started looking after the finance and investment side, and later on, we started a small fund by the name of Disrupt Ventures. So I got involved into a few startups such as Saviour, Mandi Express, SQUATWOLF, and a few others. And eventually, the one of the active investments that we made was Zignaly.com, which is a social trading platform for cryptocurrencies. And I liked it so much that it was in the early days, and I uh, actively joined them as a co-founder. So right now, I'm looking at the treasury, finance, strategy, and some sales part for the business. And in addition to that, I'm also obviously working as head of investments, you can say, at disrupt.com as well.
Abdul Rafay, your showcase of projects, like you mentioned, Disrupt, Carrot Tech, and Signally, they're commendable. How do you feel now that you look back at the success that you've attained?
Well, the success is yet to come. I mean, it's a long journey that has just started, and I think what we have been trying to do is to try and find a problem that actually exists out there. So to focus on the things that actually matter to the people. I personally a very strong proponent of financial independence. So that's how I try to structure the portfolio for our own company, for our own group. But in addition to that, we want to extend it to the masses. That's why I liked Zignaly a lot, because this is exactly what it is trying to bring to the people. That with the bare minimum capital, they can get into the crypto sector, which is generally known to a very unknown, area to most of the people. So what this is exactly kind of a mantra of my vision, that through product, through vision, and actually through the product journey, you can say, we bring this financial freedom to the masses. So success would only be when I can, say that there is a substantial population, at least in our geography or in the world, where we have, taken our services through different products. Today it is Signally, tomorrow it can be something more to it as well. But the idea is to have give this freedom to the people, that they can choose what they want to do with their money, or how they can grow their wealth, secure their futures, and it should not be limited to the few elites of the society. So that would actually be the success in the long term.
That's perfect, Rafay. Rafay, we see many ideas that come forth which may seem great but aren't sustainable. Apart from funding, what do you think seems to cause hindrances in the way to success for new entrepreneurs and businesses? And is there any way for them to avoid those mistakes or to be more efficient, I would say?
Yeah. So basically, failures can happen anywhere, no matter how perfect you are or how perfect anyone can be. No one can really say that they had no failures. I mean, if we start talking about it, everyone would have more failures than success. The reality is that we hear less about failures and more about success. So, but one thing is very important, is to stay hungry for learning more. The biggest blocker that I have personally seen in the founders, specifically in this region of the world, Pakistan, Middle East, India, where the founders, if they do a couple of good funding rounds, they think that they are done, and they know more than anyone else. So the founders need to start looking at the advisors on from the holistic perspective, and not someone who are just helping them out raising more funds. And the general advisors do not need to be from the same industry as well. Because see, running business is an art, okay, and those who know how to run business, you always listen to them, okay. Their experience in not only the success part, but how not to fail and how to learn from failure. That is also
Yeah.
very extremely important, and I think this is one strong ingredient that I see missing here. To be honest, sometimes we even fall for that trap ourselves, but we try actively that i- in the normal course of action, we try and listen to the people who have been through that journey. That's one thing. Secondly, there's another mistake that I see a lot of founders making is that they build to sell. Okay, when they start the business, when you talk to them, they are like, okay, I'll create this startup, and this kind of a thing happened in this region, and eventually this player will come in and buy me out. So if your business is built on that, problem is that then there's a fundamental problem. You're always reliant on a capital to keep growing your business, and if something crashes down, then there is a problem. But when you are building your business for profitability, the idea is that it has to be a sustainable running business. Then that means that you already get a buyer. Like everyone
Yeah.
would want to work with you, would want to invest in you, would want to buy you out, and then it's your choice. Okay,
Hmm.
there is nothing wrong in selling a business out. Absolutely not. It's actually a great achievement for any founder. But you should not build for that. You should build for long-term sustainability, long-term profitability. If things come along the way, then yeah, that's a choice.
That's perfect, Rafe. I'm sure you've heard of, and you're most probably aware of Park Launch, which has also successfully managed to provide an auspicious opportunity to tech savvy
Yeah.
individuals by offering a platform where obviously they get the recognition that they deserve. With regards to this, what would you comment on the upcoming Unconference 23 in January in Dubai? And do you think there's opportunity for growth in Pakistan tech industry?
Sure. So obviously, Park Launch is doing an amazing job. The way they started, I've been following their journey since almost day one,
Hmm.
and I think Disrupt and Geritech have been trying to support them as much as we can from every possible aspect. Um, what they are doing is very good. That they are introducing so a lot of Pakistanis outside Pakistan in very influential, both in terms of financial and strategic, perspective. They are in a very strong position, but they always keep looking for good startups in Pakistan, good
Yeah.
teams in Pakistan, good founders in Pakistan. Park Launch is an amazing platform to connect them. So that hats off to them for this initiative. I think it's just the beginning. Over the next couple of years, I think it can be one-stop solution for the foreign investors to actually come into Pakistan, verify the good teams, and then go ahead with it. In terms of the conference, really looking forward to it. I'll hopefully be there, inshallah, as well. And looking forward to meet a lot of people, network, even to see some good startups. I saw the list of the startups that are potentially going to be there, and it looks very promising, a very good list. Um, Pakistan has a lot of growth potential. There are pros and cons. Obviously, there are a lot of issues around as well with regards to the foreign currency regulations, the instability, geopolitical situation, rising inflation, everything. But reality is that it's a country of 300 million people, just very new into a huge population under about to turn 18 or under 18, under 24, massive potential. The middle class is increasing, so it's just a matter of time before things start going really well for the country, maybe 3 or 5 years down the line. um, there is a massive growth potential. Investors would not find many emerging markets with this much untapped potential. Obviously, we need to work really, really hard in the local market to make these things realized, because we have been saying it for the last 10 years. And yes, of course, there have been some really good startups, but I think we really need to do well to realize this potential. Investors look at potential, especially early in the journey. Of course, we do the same, and really hopeful that over the next couple of years, well, while the markets are going to be tough across the globe, I hope we consolidate well, and maybe through the platform of Park Launch, we can show the potential to a lot more investors across the globe and get the desired funding when the time is right.
That's wonderful, Rafa. Now that you've shed some light on what Park Launch is doing and on the growth potential in Pakistan, we also know that these companies that are going to Park Launch to be recognized, right? So, what advice would you be kind enough to give those specific companies that may prove to be helpful for them?
So again, as I said, that I saw the list. It's a pretty impressive list. I'm sure that they
Mm.
have the right set of founders and advisors
Yeah.
who would know exactly what to do. But I think again, if you're solving a problem, you focus on a problem. Stop focusing just on the valuation and how flashy you are. Just focus on the problem. What problem you are solving? What traction have you gotten? Like if I'm talking to a company, I would ideally have a look at this 60-second thing. Like if someone can tell me the problem they are solving, what's the traction been? What kind of number they are looking at in terms of revenue, and what is the path to profitability? If they can squeeze these things in like a 45-60 second kind of a thing, I think that would be very attractive. I think the founders should try that. I'm not sure if all the companies coming there are looking for the funding. I think many of them know that this might not be the best time to raise funds, so they might be coming in for the branding and opportunity to get exposure. But again, exposure means that future interest, right? So capital is required generally for the companies at this stage. So this might be a good idea for them to give like a super crisp kind of an overview, no bullshit kind of a point of view, where they can tell that exactly the problem, what are they doing, what is the traction. That's about it. That is what everyone wants to hear.
That's amazing, Rafe. I think that will be all, and hopefully looking forward to seeing you on the unconference.